Hey guys, Sean Fogarty. Wanted to make a quick video, give you an idea of what we do inspecting duct systems, HVAC systems in a home. This one in particular is in a 1980s house. Had a receipt from an AC contractor in the kitchen stating that the last home inspection noted that the AC unit wasn't cooling sufficiently. So he came out, tested everything, said it was working great, and it actually is working really well. But made mention of some of the ducts in the back may need to be replaced or older or something, which is kind of comical because it's more than just a couple in the back. It's probably over half of the system up here needs to be replaced. So first thing I noticed is the house originally had what's a gray vinyl flex duct. It had a vinyl outer jacket. It's your standard flexible duct that you see now, but the material that they used deteriorated over time, which is blatantly obvious, as you can see in this one. And when it deteriorates, it exposes the inner duct, and then it sweats or condensates. So that one actually has moisture on it from condensation. And then you can imagine if it sweats too much, it's going to stain the attic ceiling, and the stain's going to come through. And ironically enough, there's one over there where the duct's coming apart, the main duct's coming apart. It's been sweating, got water stain on the ceiling, so to remedy it, they threw the bucket under it to catch the water that's dribbling out of it from all the condensation. So, kind of funny. So as we work our way through this attic, you can see a lot of this duct. That one's falling apart. This would be one of the ones they use to replace it. Again, as you can see, you got your silver outside, which is a heck of a lot more durable, fiberglass insulation, and then your inner duct. So got that duct's falling apart. Ducts there are falling apart. They're completely falling apart. The other thing I noticed as I worked my way back in here, they added AC ducts to a couple sunrooms in the back. So you get this extra drop back here of 3 additional ducts. When the house was originally built, they designed the duct system to accommodate the size of the AC unit and efficiency of the rooms. When you go adding additional ducts, you completely change the design of the system. Now you're requiring more air to move through a duct system that wasn't ever designed to move a certain amount of air, whether, how many ever CFMs they designed the total duct system to take. For just use for a magic number, let's just say, I don't know, let's say 500. And then you add the extra space, well, maybe now the system's needing 700. So you can't necessarily do that without enlarging the ducts to make it efficient for what you're doing. Now, as far as tonnage of the equipment goes, they may have put a larger unit on the house and say, well, just put a bigger unit on and that'll help cool the additional space. Great idea, but it doesn't work that way. You have to have the duct system sized according to the amount of air you're moving through it. So if you go from a 3-ton to a 4-ton unit, well, now you have to completely change the way the system's set up. You can't just add an extra drop like they did over there and expect this duct system to work as efficiently as it should be. So somebody really screwed up when they did that. So as we work our way back here to the back, we got a couple more fine examples of what's going on. Other neat stuff. Again, more ductwork falling apart there. And this one right here is literally so deteriorated, all that's left is the inner duct. And it's torn. So now we're leaking conditioned air into the attic space, which isn't good for your electric bill by no means. One of the last things I noticed is some of the ducts that were replaced are obviously too large for the supply vent that's in the ceiling. So you got this supply vent here, and it's sized to move a certain amount of air through it. And this duct that they added is too big for it. So they've squeezed this thing down to where it'll accommodate it. Let's say if this room only needed a 6-inch duct and they replaced it with an 8-inch duct, well, that again, you're trying to cram too much air flow through this one room, so you're not going to get the balance of the system that you're required to need. So more likely the homeowner did that. They just went to the box store, they bought a duct that they thought they needed, and they just replaced all the stuff that was falling apart with whatever. They didn't size this run or this drop according to what airflow needs to be in this room. So in my opinion, with as much stuff that's going on, somebody needs to come back and either replace all the damaged ducts and or reevaluate the system and redesign the system. So, and it's really kind of frustrating that a professional with a license came out here, reviewed the unit, made a slight mention of the ducts needing to be replaced in a couple spots, but it's blatantly obvious it's a little more than that. So now, we don't do the math and the load calculations and the drops and all that stuff. That's well beyond our means. We get somebody in here that knows what they're doing to reevaluate the system and size it accordingly and make the proper repairs. But, you know, from what I can see, you definitely need a lot of work going on here. Figured I'd share.